Hello, our SeptaSOAREous.
I'm Septa.
I'm Soar, and this is us.
SeptaSOAREous Rex.
And today we come at you with some more Rise of BANGTAN, chapter 4. We're gonna have the main chapter, and then we're gonna have the deleted scenes at the end. So stick around for that. As a special thank you for our patrons, we're gonna have the bonus episode over there. So if you want to check that out, then please do.
Yes. We're so excited.
Before we check it out,
you know what you gotta do. You gotta hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't, and hit that notification bell so you know when we drop a new video. And if you've already done all of those things, hello, our SeptaSOAREous. We love you. We missed you. And we're back.
Hello! Any likes, comments, anything like that, that helps us a lot. So we really appreciate you if you're engaging. If you're here just to view, we appreciate you too. Whatever you're here for, we appreciate you. We love you. Oh, I totally forgot the end of the first one, or the last one. So,
I just want to say that was a really cute little intro right there.
it was cute.
And it was super cute.
Yeah, I liked it too.
Also, that music video be saucy.
Yeah, I know, it was super saucy. I wonder how that girl feels now.
Oh my goodness.
You know, because like, of course, when that was filmed, they were gaining popularity, but of course, look at them now. They'd be like, "What was it like to be shoved against a locker by Jin?" You know, like people be asking her what it was like to get slammed into a locker by Jin. You know what I mean? Probably gets bugged about it all the time, whoever she is.
Yeah, probably.
안녕하세요. 겨울 교원입니다. 야 학교 갑니다. 입학식하러 갑니다. 엄마 아빠 나요. 긴장된다.
That's a dapper uniform.
It is a really nice uniform.
태양아 두꺼운데? 뭐 가방에 뭐 들었냐?
I like that scarf.
나 책이요. 교무실이 어디야? 안녕하세요.
Ah, there he is. So cute.
귀엽네요. 저기 서 있으니까. 집에서는 그냥 학교 다니고 싶다. 보고 있고 싶다. 아, 보고 있고 싶다 갑자기. 진짜. 말도 걸고 그래.
저 먹고 싶은 거 먹었어요. 저 짜장면 먹으러 왔습니다.
Like bean noodles.
That sounds really good.
저 짜장면 먹겠어요.
Oh, his parents. Oh.
2014년 1월 3일 진내로그 2014년 성인이 되었다. 되게 약간의 씁쓸함 같은 거? 되게 어렸을 때부터 이제 성인에 대해서 생각을 많이 했었었다. 뭐 성인이 되면 이제 풀리게 되는 제한들이 생길 것이고, 되게 성인이 된 1월 1일 아침 똑같은 일상, 똑같은 숙소에 똑같은 멤버에 똑같은 일상에 똑같은 스케줄. 형들 이제 남준 형이라든지
That cut.
이제 호비 형이라든지 한 살 차이밖에 안 나는데 되게 뭔가 생각의 깊이가 너무 차이가 크다고 생각했었는데
참 2014년에 더 내가 나를 더 많이 보여주고 내가 어느 정도의 끝까지 올라갈 수 있는지 방탄소년단이 어느 레벨까지 올라갈 수 있는지 한번 꼭 시험해보고 싶다. 재밌을 것 같다.
Buckethead.
It's so sad to watch them go through that realization.
Watch them like grow up like before our eyes.
Yes, it's so sad.
It's a rough one. And I think part of it too is like you have a moment where you think that exact thing that he did, where you're like, well, now I'm an adult and I always wondered what they were thinking about and how my life would change and stuff. And then you realize it's kind of just more of the same with a little bit more stress. And then
responsibilities.
But that feeling of what do the adults think and what they would do, it never really goes away. You know, even at our age now, I still don't always feel like an adult. You know, even though I am an adult and handling all the adult stuff, I don't really feel like it. You know, the only thing that changes really, because like, of course, your mentality changes a little bit. You have like, you can't be as selfish because you have family. You have to like provide for, you can't put yourself first all the time anymore, stuff like that. But it's just, you kind of just have like the same mindset. You still like the things that you liked when you were younger. You don't have the time to enjoy that kind of stuff anymore.
Yeah.
You know, it's sad because you can almost like see it like withering away. You know, it's like if you love painting and then you don't paint for years, trying to go back to it and like get back into the creative mindset when you've been working nonstop. It's just a really hard thing to do.
Yeah, it's a different section of your brain that you haven't used and you've just neglected.
So it's really sad to watch.
I know, it is really sad. But also, I think if he looks back more.
Sorry, that's our puppy making noises.
She's pouting because we're doing a video.
Yeah.
If he takes the time to reflect back, then he will notice the differences in his thought processes and how he has grown. But it's really hard, like the day of, to just notice a change because it's all been so gradual. If I look back at 15-year-old me,
right,
I'm like, dang, I've come far.
That's true, yeah.
But if I just thought that I would feel like an adult, because I did think that. I thought when I became an adult, I would suddenly have a calling and I'd know what I needed to do with my life and everything would just click. But that's not the way it works.
Right.
It is like it's a gradual thing and everybody finds their own way.
Yeah.
In a different amount of time as well.
Yeah, it's interesting becoming an adult and then like you're saying, looking back, because you look at, there's still pieces of yourself in that 15-year-old. And you're like, I like those pieces. And then there's like other pieces where you're like, I am so glad that I grew out of that. What was I doing?
Exactly.
You know, you think you're like an absolute goober. And I can guarantee you, looking back at me, I'm like, oh my God.
Oh, yeah. No, I think back to like a temper tantrum I had about not being able to go to a club with my friends.
So disappointing.
And a club that people were later stabbed at, by the way.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm just like, it's probably a really good thing that I didn't do that.
Oh, yeah.
And how immature was that to have such a meltdown over?
It's weird things like that, man. It's like the things where you're like in between the child and adult. And so you feel like you could do these adult things, but in reality, you can't. You can't keep yourself, as safe as maybe you should be able to. And you're naive at that age and silly things can happen. So
exactly. But yeah, so I think I'm sure as time has gone on, he's realized that if you look back, it is easier to see those changes. And it's definitely a hard realization that you're not just suddenly an adult who knows things.
It is a bummer. I wish hit 18 and then you just unlock potential.
That's exactly what I thought would happen, and it did not.
It's like coming to the realization that your parents don't know everything. It's what?
Oh
what
my
do you
gosh.
mean?
I know a lot of you already know, but it only gets worse when you have kids because you still have no idea what you're doing. I was like, oh, somebody's going to like tell me and I'm just going to know everything, you know? No. Fake it till you make it. Everybody's learning as they go. And then you're like, wow, my parents had no idea what they were doing.
Right.
뭐 정말 이제 곧 컴백을 앞두고 있고 아미들도 이제 저희를 보실 걸 기다리는 일만 남았거든요. 정말 그래서 이렇게 또 올해 저희 정말 쉴 틈 없이 정말 바쁘게 아미들과 같이 활동을 할 거니까 올해도 항상 행복하시고 건강했으면 좋겠습니다. 건강하세요. 저희 정말 야심차게 준비했습니다.
새해 복 많이 받으세요.
많이 가지러 볼게.
방탄 화이팅!
꽃뿌리 모던 소년단.
Overflowing with manliness.
Manliness.
이게 땀이지.
너무 더워요.
It's too hot.
선생님, 좀 쉬게 해주시면 안 돼요? 진짜 저희 지금 한 달 넘게 진짜 너무 눈 뜨면 안무였습니다. 설날 때도요. 진짜 말해주세요. 하루만 쉬겠어요. 하루만.
Let's go!
Like they're being held hostage.
남준이를 옆에서 보고 있으면은 확실히 답답할 것 같긴 해요. 저라면 못했을 거예요.
남준이랑은 예전에 방탄소년단 연습생을 같이 했었지만 전 안 했죠. 좀 안 맞았어요. 어디를 가도 허락을 맡아야 되고 그냥 통제죠. 싹 다 통제. 모든 게 통제돼 있으니까.
뭐 그렇죠. 답답한 때도 있고.
There's one man who's done more than almost anybody else to shape K-pop, Suman Lee of SM Entertainment.
미국 유학을 가서 그러면서 그때 MTV가 시작이 됐습니다. 초점을 두고 해외를 나가야 되겠다라고 생각을 하면서 엔터테인먼트 사업을 시작했었습니다.
Suman Lee's global ambition.
I thought it was interesting how they're talking about how suffocating it could be, or it is, I suppose. Or it was, I guess.
Is and or was.
To be part of like BANGTAN.
Yeah, he said he was training with the RM to be part of BANGTAN Sonyeondan.
Yeah, but anyways, I thought it was cool how they touched on how suffocating it is, because I can imagine that it's pretty strict, and especially at a young age, having so many rules. Some people do all right with it, and it's really not a big deal, but there are other people who, like, it would just be super stressful, and you feel like you're definitely suffocating. Can't do anything without permission. And, like, I know for myself, I didn't like things like that.
No, you don't like the lack of freedom.
Yeah, I like freedom.
Like you do enjoy a schedule, but you enjoy a self-imposed schedule. If somebody else told you to do it, then you would not.
Well, and it stresses me out, right? Because like it's just in my mind, I have things set up in this order and way, and once you take me off of that, I get stressed out because it's like out of routine, stuff like that. I feel like eventually I'd probably get used to it, but it would be a hard transition into, okay, this is how things are now. And then figuring out how to like conform with that in a comfortable fashion, at least.
I think if anything, it's probably advantageous that they are going for young people when it comes to all of that, because they're already on that schedule for school and everything. So all they're doing is changing the focus.
Well, it's probably like fairly healthy too, because it's just good to get yourself out of comfort zones like that. So the fact that they're young and it's like, okay, this is similar to what you were doing, but, you know, maybe a little bit more strict. Like it wouldn't be as hard as a transition as like somebody who's older, like stuck in our ways at this point. It seems like really like I have to completely shift my schedule to do one single thing now. You know what I mean? I am interested in the MTV aspect because they did sort of touched on that. About how they kind of like lined up like that.
Yeah, and honestly, it makes sense that it was all really driven and inspired by early MTV, because it seems like K-pop is so heavily media focused, and it is all about like the television. So I think it's interesting that it stayed there this long.
And successfully.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I don't really know about television there in South Korea. I don't know the ratings or anything, but I do know at least that they have shifted to other platforms very successfully, like YouTube and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They've kept with the trend of having like a platform for their videos and making that the main focus. Now they're getting millions and millions and like billions of views on YouTube. It started, of course, with like the MTV on TV type of style, and it still might be a thing. I just don't really know. But they've also shifted towards YouTube, which not everyone has done successfully.
He didn't get off to the best of starts. His first signing, former dancer Hyun Jin Young, went to prison for drugs possession.
Because we consider them as idols, we don't allow any speck of dust on them. So we don't just stop it saying drugs is bad, don't do it. We don't do that. We say, you are out of this industry. You shall forever be banned from the stage.
The scandal was a valuable lesson for Suman Lee, who realised that to be successful, his artists would not only need to be incredible performers, they'd also have to be impeccably behaved. And so he began developing a system for training raw talent.
The system ended up being a great success, and every major South Korean managerial company to this day follows it.
This is only from my experiences, but managements could always check your phone at any time that they want. No junk food, no going out.
They have terms like no dating, dieting, some even have like plastic surgery.
I remember that I was too dark. Like my skin was too tan and I had to brighten my skin. I know that there's a standard. I know that there is this goal that we're all trying to achieve. And you know, being in an industry where it's so visually focused, you know, you're gonna go through the checklist of, okay, is your hair on point? Is your face on point? Is what you're wearing good?
아이돌한테 규칙 필요하다고 생각해요?
아니요. 아니, 그렇다고 생각해요. 없었으면 좋겠어요. 아이돌도 일반 사람과 됐으면 좋겠어요. 저는 개인적으로.
가장 먼저 없어져야 되는 게 이제 규칙적인 거고 창조적인 걸 하거나 그런 거에 있어서 방해가 되는 부분이 있는 것 같아요.
아, 왜 이렇게 작업이 안 될까? 가사가 안 나온다. 뭔가 영감이 안 떠올라. 이 로고에 이런 이야기를 담으면 뭔가 영감이 떠올리지 않을까? 그래서 이렇게 로고를 찍어본다. 이 로고가 끝나고 나면 난 다시 무한 작업 잘할 수 있겠지? 그래, 화이팅. 제이홉 화이팅. 제이홉 화이팅. 제이홉의 로고 끝. 영감이 떠올리게.
It seems like it's as rough as I imagined it, like to an extent, you know? I guess I didn't really think about the lightening of the skin or anything like that. I never thought about that stuff.
I did know about that just because, you know, I'm obsessed with like beauty videos and things. So I do know that they really favor fair skin, and they have lots and lots of skincare products for skin brightening and stuff. Okay. And there's even like skin whitening things that are like rice water washes and stuff for your face to help your skin become more white. It's like a real legit thing. I only get made fun of for being pale.
That is so sad. You look so beautiful all pale.
I was born this way.
I know. Yeah. I mean, that's rough in my opinion, but I know, you know, cultural differences and stuff like that. I don't know how I feel about the going through the phone whenever they want.
That's the one that really struck a chord with me because we already know for any celebrity, it comes down to a lot of visual things. So you've got to look good. Your skin's got to be good. Your hair, your clothes, like it's all a presentation. So we already know that. But somebody personally going through my phone, no, just no.
Yeah, I was like, maybe it's not as personal of a thing there, but I feel like for anyone,
the only person who can go through my phone is you.
Yeah, exactly. Like it seems like a very personal thing. I don't know. I don't want it, and just don't mess with my phone out. It makes me uncomfortable. I'm sure they want to have like personal conversations, at least with their parents. Maybe they're having a rough day about what's going on, and they don't need someone like
Can you
get in the middle
imagine
of it.
your manager going through your phone? Think of your phone and everything on it.
Oh.
And then think of him seeing it all.
Well, that's the thing, right? If you know somebody's gonna be going through your phone, you ain't gonna have anything on there that you don't want people to see.
That's true. I wonder if a bunch of them have like burner phones.
I would try to. I'd probably try to hide one somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah. Because my private conversations are my private conversations. But yeah, there's no way that I would want my manager to go through my phone.
Yeah, that make me uncomfortable for sure.
대남협이라고 옛날에 같이 이제 음악 했던 친구들 형들.
아 그럼 우리도 그냥 크루 한번 해보자. 그때부터 이제 쭉 같이 공연도 하고.
대남협이 인터뷰 했을 때 레코드 관에서 뭐라고 했을 것 같아요?
막 아이돌 됐다고 막 이렇게 같아요.
김남준은 방탄소년단이 됐네요.
아 근데
이럴 수가. 근데 너 화장하고 어떻게 나가? 나? 화장하고 어떻게 나가? 개집애처럼.
개집애처럼. 하나면 저 믹스테이프에 안 껴줘서 제가. 나도 참여하고 싶다.
네, 김남준은 방탄소년단이 됐네요.
드라마이지 나는.
앨범 잘해?
너무 어려워요.
왜?
아 그러니까 이제 소재가 안 돼요. 소재가 없어요. 그냥 똑같잖아요. 방송하고 집에 오고 준비하고 연습하고 가사 쓰고 다시 연습하고 그 다음에 다시 방송하고.
근데 나는 솔직히 너가 지금 약간 좀 진지빠는 얘기지만 이제 너는 되게 랩을 보여주고 싶어 하잖아. 좀 더 막 그런 거 있잖아. 막 너만 할 수 있는 얘기 있잖아. 언더그라운드라는 것 자체가 굉장히 인디펜던트하고 자기 자주성을 가지고 하는 거잖아요. 근데 아이돌이라는 거는 회사의 기획과 그래서 자기가 하고 싶은 걸 사실 할 수 없어요. 왜냐면은 회사에서 봤을 때는 이거는 대중들이 원하는 게 아닌데 그러면은 이제 언더 매니아, 힙합 매니아라고 하는 사람들은 그런 거를 당연히 안 좋게 보죠.
If you look at the three biggest types of music in Korea, it's indie music, hip-hop music, and R&B. A reason for that is people want to hear truth. Hip-hop isn't necessarily intimate, but a lot of Korean hip-hop music is actually truth to power. Koreans want lyrics and music that is emotional and captivate you. We are going off the big, large generalization. In the large sphere of things, idols do not write their own lyrics. In idol music, the lyrics are largely shallow, and we can act like it's not, but it's not often that idol music has a lot of truth and power behind the lyrics. We, as K-pop fans, feel like it's unjust because they work so hard. What we are having trouble with being outside of the Korean context is it's derivative. To them, it's derivative. You can't get away with just a really good title track K-pop song. That's not how you build a fan base. That's not how you get loyalty. You use the title track to lure people in, to catch their attention. But if your B-sides can't show off that your group is special and different somehow, you're not gonna survive.
누구나 어떤 뮤지션들이나 자기가 음악을 결과물을 내고 그거에 대해서 뭐 혹평을 해주는 사람도 있는 거고 또 반면에 분명히 좋아하는 사람들도 있을 거란 말이죠. 그 혹평들을 받아들여서 다음 앨범을 그 사람들까지도 만족시킬 수 있는 앨범을 만드는 게 아티스트로서의 성장 아닌가 싶어요.
힙합을 정말 사랑하는 음악평론가 입장에서 이건 내가 공격받을 만하다라는 부분이 몇 가지 있고 몇 가지는 이거는 편견이다. 좀 더 저희를 알아봐 주시고 조금 더 저희의 히스토리라던가 그런 거를 아셨으면 그렇게까지는 안 쓰시지 않았을까 라는 생각은 들어요.
I thought that was very interesting, him going to see his old rap group.
I was a little iffy about it at first.
I know, I was
these
like,
guys
what's
just going to be
about to
talking smack the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he made a good point when he was like, don't you want to rap? That must be like bugging you that you can't just rap like you want to and say everything that you want to say. You're writing with them. So then instead of it being like exactly what you want to say, you're working with somebody to build things to say as like a whole group instead of it just making it really personal for yourself. you're trying to like make it personal, but then you're a group, so it's like, oh, what should we maybe say here, what we should do here, and then you'll show it to someone, they might be like, oh, well, you need to change that, I think, and then do this. Takes away like the complete personal side of it, which he probably had a lot of when he was rapping underground.
Mhm.
You can literally say whatever he wanted and not have to worry about making anyone look bad or seem ungrateful, or whatever feelings he might have been feeling.
Yeah, and you didn't have to worry about a company saying, well, that's not what the people want to hear.
You didn't have those phalanges in it as well. That happens to pretty much every artist that starts taking off. Well, I don't know. It seems like this is the song that topped the chart last week, so maybe you should make something similar to that.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, oh, okay, so I'm not really able to do what I want to now, but all right, I suppose. And
Yeah. And I like how they were talking about how people want to hear truth and honesty, so they're leaning towards those other genres. And I know that we can kind of relate to that too, because in America, we stay away from like hip hop and rap because it's just a lot of hitting the club, living the life. I got money, I do drugs, and I get girls, which is not my flavor.
yeah, we don't care about that. We want to hear
Yeah.
something more personal.
Exactly.
And like there, of course, is like rap and hip hop out there that is,
And
we
I
listen to a
do
little bit
enjoy
of it.
them. Yes.
Mhm. But it's
They
not
don't hit
very often.
mainstream like the other
No,
ones at
no.
all.
Well, and I thought it was interesting. They were talking about like idols and stuff. Once they make it bigger, and like K-pop, they were like, yeah, all the lyrics become shallow. You can see a similar trend here.
In pop.
Mm-hmm, exactly. And like you could go from like they can have a first album where they self-produced it or a small producer did it or whatever, and it would be very, very good and be really personal and you can relate really heavily to it. And then the next album that comes out, if they explode from that, it starts getting more shallow, and then it's more of what is the in at the moment.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's not even all like shallow. Sometimes it is empowering, but it's only empowering to the point of what's popular at the time. Like
You can't like listen to a huge pop star right now and then get like a full backstory of like their childhood in a song. You don't get that kind of empowering personal where it's like a really just like boiled down to its essence who that person is.
Mhm.
It's more like I think of like Katy Perry, right? Like she had Roar. It was a while ago, but it was like a empowering for women.
Mhm.
Like kind of just in general, which was good and it was empowering and like a good song, but it wasn't on that super personal level anymore. It was more of like what
It's
can
a
hit the
general
masses the
message.
hardest,
Yeah. There's a lot of songs like that, especially geared towards women, like the get your hair done, get your nails done because you're worth it. There's lots of stuff like that. And I'm just like, why don't we just talk about like reading literature, expanding my consciousness? That'd be awesome. I like that.
That'd be pretty sick, yeah.
That's one of the reasons that we gravitate towards like metal music, because that's where there's honesty and truth that we can find in music.
And it's so nice and refreshing.
It is.
Don't get me wrong, sometimes I do like the just empowering or boppy song once in a while, but definitely gravitate towards to meaningful lyrics. It makes sense if that's kind of how it is in, or at least was at the time, in Korea, then it makes sense that them being idols and them having like an actual really personal message would relate to people, because you have like, of course, the idleness and the type of music that people are really enjoying, but then you slap like an important message and stuff on it, and then people are really gonna eat it up. They're like, oh my god, yes.
And it was a very brave thing to do because they were breaking away from the norm. But I think that's part of why they were so successful, because the Idol platform is a huge platform. And there's buku bucks behind the Idol platform. So much money, because these people sell things. They're really good at it too. And now you've got people who are going to speak truth. And give a message on this platform that has just been kind of like white noise for a long time. So of course they're going to rise above, and a lot of people are not going to like it, but a lot of other people are really gonna like it. And I think that's definitely key to how they just skyrocketed. I think hopefully it's helped change the industry so that these people aren't just mannequins for these companies. Because that's not fair to anybody.
하기 전에는 이미 언더그라운드에서 래퍼로 활동을 하셨더라고요. 그러니까 몇 살 때부터 한 거예요?
14살 때부터 중1 때부터 활동을 했었는데요. 이제 그렇게 좀 어릴 때부터 힙합을 많이 좋아해서
저는 RM의 공개곡을 처음 들었던 순간이 아직도 생생합니다. 주제를 다루는 사고의 깊이와 언어 사용의 유려함, 랩을 한국말로 풀어가는 창조적인 방식 등이 당장 이 친구와 미팅을 잡으라고 했던 기억이 납니다. 이런 실력을 가진 친구를 그냥 둘 수 없다.
추가군은 소속사에서
그렇습니다.
주최한 전국 랩 배틀 오디션에서 2등.
네, 그렇습니다.
또 제이홉은 당시에 지역에서 춤을 잘 추는 걸로 정평이 나 있었던 친구고요. 지민도 예술고등학교에 수석 입학한 수재였습니다. 저는 방탄소년단이라는 아이들이 반짝반짝 빛나는 멋진 스타에서 한 걸음 더 나아가길 바랐습니다.
Okay.
Killed it.
Them ciphers though.
뜬금없이 영상을 찍게 된 이유는
They like turn around.
옛날 팬분들한테 받기만 해서 항상 죄송하고 미안했는데 이제는 드려야 될 때가 온 것 같습니다. 이분들이
슈가 형 뭐예요? 여기 있어. 나중에 가줄게요. 왔어요? 어차피 일 다 해야 돼. 되게 열심히 쓴다. 좋다. 시간도 늦었어. 빨리 들어가셔. 잘하죠, 저. 나 짱이야. 형, 이거 저희가 해주는데 뭐 해주실 거예요? 야, 피자 콜? 오, 말했어. 이 영상 다 봤어요.
형 제가 그날마다 제가 진짜 아침부터 밥을 안 먹고 갈게요. 몇 개야? 아니에요.
한 박스 끝.
진짜요? 형이 쓴 멘트 중에 제일 마음에 들어. 이거 고를까요? 언제나 사랑할게. 이거 좋다. 이거 완전 좋은데요? 이거 기분 좋아. 살 빼지 마. 형 이거 모르겠습니다. 추워.
시간이 참 저희도 모르게 참 이런 걸 준비해가지고 몰랐어요.
몰랐어요. 그냥 가라 했어요. 우리
중요한 게 뭔지 아세요?
뭐지 이랬는데.
저한테 이런 거 준 적이 없어요. 너무 멋있는데 진짜 서운할 뻔했어요. 진짜.
안녕하세요. 방탄소년단입니다. 너무 좋고요. 오늘 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷. 생일 축하합니다. 그렇게 막 엄청 대단한 건 아니고요. 주말을 했었어야 되는데 심심한 슈가 한 대씩 때려주세요. 좋네요.
제가요.
That was really cool of him.
Yeah, that was really cute.
새벽 늦게까지 작업했어요. 레모니. 뭐 레모니는 뭐 일상이 작업이기 때문에.
여기 저 끼웠잖아요, 방금.
잠깐 올라갈게요.
네.
안녕하세요. 안녕하세요. 어떻게 생각하세요? 제 생각을 제 음악으로 옮겨 담아서 그걸 사람들한테 들려준다. 지네 음악도 안 하고 그냥 회사에서 시키는데 노래 받아서 춤이나 추는 것들이 무슨 가수냐. 니네가 무슨 아티스트냐. 저런 애를 더 이상 나오면 안 된다.
빨리 가고 싶다. 집에. 엄마가 보고 싶다.
Oh my god.
아빠도 보고 싶다. 모두가 날 기다리고 있을 것이다.
아이돌. 저는 되게 암담했어요. 아니 암담했다기보다 되게 막막했어요. 이제 앞으로 저는 항상 하루에도 수백 번 수천 번 생각해요. 이걸 내가 가지고 있는 아티스트적인 능력을 어떻게 더 증명할 것인가 부터 시작해서 그래서 저는 사실 제가 방탄소년단에 들어온 이유는 하나인데 그냥 내 목소리 그냥 최대한 많은 사람한테 들려주는 거 그게거든요.
이상한 잡생각이 많아져서 굉장히 고생을 한다고 해야 되나? 집을 떠나서 산다기보다는 부모님과 같이 살고 싶다.
사실 저희만큼 정말 우리 힙합 하면서 슬로건을 걸고 나온 팀은 없는 것 같아요. 제 생각에. 그런 만큼 공격을 너무 많이 받고 힙합을 사랑하는 분들 뭐 저랑 맨날 같이 음악을 하던 분들도 심지어 저를 욕하고
리얼하게 살고 싶다고 항상 생각을 했는데 뭔가 기분이 좋지 않은데 기분 좋은 척 해야 될 수도 있고
아들 아빠가 잘 지내고 있지? 아빠 엄마 아들 하나 돼서 고마웠고 사랑스러운 우리 동생의 생일을 다시 한번 축하하고 컴백에서 활동하고 있는 두 번째 미니 앨범 열심히 활동해 그동안 고생한 보람 꼭 얻을 수 있도록 아빠가 기원할게. 무엇보다도 아빠가 바라는 것은 내 건강이야. 아들 사랑한다. 제이홉 파이팅. 방탄소년단 파이팅.
Oh, all of them. All of them.
그래서 근데 이제 아빠 나오니까 막 거기서 터지는 거예요. 울음이 나오는 거.
뭐 그냥 생각하기 나름이야.
I know. Hold on.
Oh, that hit me so hard.
I know.
Oh god.
That one got me.
Oh
that
my
even
God.
got me. It got me pretty good.
Gotta get that voice crack out of there. Damn.
Whew.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, that was intense. That was intense.
I
They're
wasn't
all so
expecting all
homesick.
that. Yeah.
I know.
Oh my god. It would be really hard too at such a young age. Oh man.
I still love to have my mama there.
I know. Like we talk about moving sometimes, and the reason that we never do is because we don't want to be away from family.
Yeah.
That's hard. I mean, it's your family.
Family is important.
And like I'm sure a part of it too is like, you know, they're working so hard. And then like they were mentioning, even when you're not feeling happy, you have to like be happy. Or at least pretend to be happy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just a hard thing to do in general, you know? So constantly doing that and fighting that.
I mastered the art of that.
But it wasn't healthy for you.
Oh no. It was so bad. Never choke down your emotions for extended periods of time, guys.
So like the fact that they're putting themselves through that and then also all the hard work and then missing their family. When he was listening to his dad, one, I'm sure just that in itself was really emotional. But then he was also saying that like, I'm incredibly proud of you, which would make you emotional. And it's like, and no matter what, just know that I'm more concerned about your health than anything.
Yes.
And then it's just like, it's just a snowball of things.
Yes, and then I'm excited for your next comeback.
Yeah, yeah.
And
so,
then all
you
the
know,
way
yeah.
to J-Hope fighting.
Exactly, yeah.
Which is just so sweet and amazing.
I can't imagine trying to hide all these emotions and just be happy and move forward and be the best you can. And then it's always the parents who can get you and they're just like, hey, I just want you to know I'm proud of you. And you're just like, oh my God, thank you. Like, I really needed to hear that. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It is one of those weird things. So I feel him. I know there's like good tears and stuff going on, but oh God, it is hard to watch.
I know,
It
you
gets
can't
me every
handle
time.
watching other people cry anyway.
Yeah, no, it's hard. It's hard. It gets me a little bit.
I know.
That's fine. Okay. If I talk softer, no one will notice my shaky voice. It's okay. Oh, and then of course everyone else were feeling it too. They
I
were sitting there
know.
just like,
all of them.
yeah. Oh man.
That was powerful. It was very powerful.
뭔가를 보고 싶어하는 사람은 그 보고 싶은 것만 보고 보이지 않는 것은 안 보니까요. 그리고 아마 정말 관심 있고 아이돌이라는 것을 제대로 이해하려고 해봤다면 아마 그렇게 얘기하지 않을 것 같습니다. 저는 그렇게 생각해요.
Let it go. Wherever it is.
예, 여기는 못 가는 비행기 안. 정국.
왔어. 2013년 5월 13일.
Okay, they're in like first class.
Yeah.
안녕하세요. 오늘은 본명이 찍는 레몬스터.
레몬스터.
그 옆에는 진. 열심히 뭘 하고 있는데 뭐라고 쓸까요?
쌀가지 쇼가 얼마 전에 끝났다고.
취침 들어가겠어요.
프로를 하면서 이제 내가 얻은 결론은 그냥 나는 나다. 나는 아이돌도 아니고 아티스트도 아니고 힙합도 아니고
Yeah.
아무것도 아닌 그냥 나는 나. 나는 랩몬스터, 나는 김남준이다. 사실 뭐 그렇게 내가 이렇게 나를 소속하고 규정받고 싶어서 되게 안달이나 안 쓰는지 모르겠지만 사실 인간이라면 누구나 그럴 수도 있겠지만 내가 뭔가 더 갈망하지 않았나 이렇게 생각이 든다. 인생이 방황이라고 생각을 하기 때문에 인생 방황의 연속이고 사실 지금 더군다나 더 젊어서 많이 방황할 시기라는 생각이 든다.
테니스장에 왔어요.
Wise words.
Yes, give me
추억이네요. 제가 어렸을
goosies.
때 테니스 선수였는데 저희 완전 잘해서 동상 탔어요. 세 팀 중에.
소비 좀 한다. 찍지 마요.
음악을 만들 때 뭔가 더 오래 곱씹을 수 있는 음악을 만들고 싶다는 생각을 한다. 처음에 꽂히고 처음에 다 알아들을 수 있는 그런 직관적인 가사와 음악도 좋지만 들을수록 더 맛이 나고 아 이런 뜻이었구나. 내가 이런 의미로 이때 이렇게 썼었구나. 라는 그런 음악을 더 만드는 게 나의 의무이고 좀 더 나의 오는 팬들을 더 만들 수 있는 계기가 아닌가라고 생각을 한다.
여기는 a beach.
Beach?
Beach.
Beach?
나는 이제 좀 더 눈을 감고 귀를 닫고 내 안에 있는 나를 좀 더 차단해서 끄집어내고 이런 일들을 좀 더 힘쓰고 그냥 다른 나의 길 간다는 생각으로 이렇게 해야 될 것 같다고.
빨리 들어가. 앞에 앉아. 빨리. 안다다띠.
반갑소. 이 타빈 뒤.
잘할 거라. 살아갔으니까 아마 그럴 것 같다. 나는 어차피 나니까. 오케이? 잘하자 앞으로도. 좋은 음악. 파이팅.
Yeah, that's our boy.
Yeah, I was like what he has to say.
Oh my gosh.
American hustle like hip hop school.
Hey, what's up, man? Oh my god.
오렌지예요.
Forgive me, I don't know who that is.
I don't either.
할 거면 빨리 하시네.
이 사람이 설탕이면 나야.
제가 춤을 좀 워낙 좀 지금 기깔나게 추거든요.
Yes.
내가 저렇게 생겼냐?
Oh my! What are you doing?
최근 들어 제게 하나 없어졌어요. 그 제가 입고 있는 것 같아요.
태양이에요.
I liked how he was talking about how like if you really got to know the idols, then you wouldn't be saying those things about them.
Mm-hmm.
And like I feel like that's just a good way to think towards anybody, really, right? Because don't get me wrong, there's people whose actions are very public, and you're like, okay, you can kind of get a read of who they are, you know, but you still don't fully understand what's going on. Unless you like really get behind the curtains, then it's hard to like judge someone that harshly. I just like that he had mentioned that.
And I loved what he said when he said, a one-eyed person cannot see the truth. I think that was specifically he mentioned about idols, but I think that is large scale. Because if you're only seeing from this one narrow perspective, you're never going to see the whole picture. And I thought that was beautiful. Gosh,
Wise
darn
words,
it.
man, always,
I love
every time.
listening to RM talk every time.
Oh, yeah. And I also wanted to say that I liked how this video kind of brought around what he was saying in the last one, because he was really lost about who he was and he was so worried about it. And then in this video, he's like, why was I worried about it?
Yeah,
I just
like,
am who I am.
I'm
man.
me.
Yeah. So I was really happy to see that, because I know he wasn't feeling that confident before. And like now he's like, I am who I am. I'm not an idol. I'm not a hip hop artist. I'm not a rap artist. I'm
I'm me.
RM, man.
Shake off the labels and categories and just
be
do
who you are. Yeah, exactly.
Overall, I think chapter 4 was really good.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, we heard a little bit more about the industry. A lot of it was also just reinforcing what we've already learned so far as well.
Just kind of elaborating a little bit more on stuff. And then touched on like their homesickness and stuff, which I expected to happen eventually. There's probably been multiple moments that they've really felt it. I know they touched on it a little bit in earlier ones. I think it was like before they even debuted. They were talking about stuff like that, but you can see like at this point, it's like really getting to them, and it makes sense. At this point, they've been working really, really hard, and you miss your family, you know?
So that definitely pulled on my heartstrings. That speech from J-Hope's father is gonna live rent-free in my brain.
And he sounded so sweet and sincere. I was like,
know.
oh God, stop it, guy.
I know, I was like, oh my gosh, I love J-Hope's dad.
I know.
Don't go anywhere, guys, because now we're gonna enjoy the deleted scenes.
Woo!
Let's giggle together.
Woo!
작업을 하는 내내 굉장히 힘들었었어요. 이거는 이때 벌스를 쓰는데 사실 어떻게 써야 될지 감도 잘 안 왔었고 굉장히 오래 작업을 했었던 것 같아요. 뭐 많이 수정하지는 않았지만 그래도 뭔가 많은 대중분들에게 좀 더 쉽게 다가가려고 무언가 좀 귀에 잘 들어오는 표현들을 썼던 것 같아요. 그리고 전반적으로 좀 신나는 느낌을 많이 내고 싶었어서 가사도 이제 응원하기 쉬운 그런 단어들을 선택.
네. 아 그리고 또 큰 일이 있었다 그러던데 우리 슈가가 맹장 수술을 했다 그러던데.
약간 한결 몸이 좀 더 가벼워졌습니다. 그래서 네, 사실 연말 시상식 같이 무대에 서고 싶었는데 서지도 못하고 사실 앨범 작업을 하는데 이 앨범 작업을 하는 데 있어서 굉장히 시간도 촉박하고 되게 이제 마스터 넘어가기 전날 녹음 다 끝내고 막 이런 식으로 좀 급하게 작업을 했었는데 그래도 정말 좋은 결과가 나온 것 같아가지고 참 다행인 것 같습니다.
I'm curious. You guys live together, right? 같이 숙소 생활하잖아요.
네, 그렇습니다.
Do you guys have time to go out to play together outside of the 숙소?
있나요? 시간을?
No.
No free time.
Not at all. 전혀.
만약 쉬는 시간 있으면 자거나 연습실 가서 연습을 하거나.
So which members are roommates right now? 짝이 어떻게 지어졌어요?
저희 이제 한 방을 같이 살고 있어가지고.
One room
네.
and 7 members?
네네.
Sad.
한 방에 7명이 같이.
And a manager too. It's like 8.
So 8, 8명. Guys,
Oh, the manager too.
Oh.
Yeah.
그
Seven
매니저는
members
혼자.
Yeah, yeah.
와 매니저
Oh,
혼자.
okay.
7 members in our
7
house.
members, I can't even
Smelly.
imagine.
And, you know, we got food flies.
I can imagine that's very smelly.
Yeah, the other day, I woke up at like 4 a.m. It's done because of a
Jeez.
sound like, and I went straight to the kitchen and there was jungle with a vacuum. It was sucking all the Drosophilus and they were gone.
Okay. That's a pretty good idea, though, honestly.
Yes!
Yeah,
oh my
that's a great
gosh.
idea.
Fruit flies are the worst.
Oh, God, I hate fruit flies so much.
They're so small and they just get into everything.
They're so annoying when they're like in front of you. You can't like catch them because they're tiny. So your air currents from your hands just blow them away.
Exactly. They just like force move around your hand.
Exactly. It drives me crazy. I did like the sneak peek into like they're struggling with writing a little bit and how they were talking about how they're trying to make it like comfortable to people's ears.
Yes, and
like
make
that.
it easy to chant as well.
That is like a thing that you have to think about when you're writing is how enjoyable it is to hear, you know what I mean?
Yes, and I think it's super interesting because for the music that they are writing, they have to think of the crowd participation aspect.
Yeah.
Because that is huge for their genre, even though they technically dabble in loads of genres, but you know what I mean.
The K-pop idol type
Circuit
scene.
that they were
exactly.
working. Yeah. Yeah. Crowd participation is everything and everybody has to have fun and enjoy it.
Yeah. It makes
In
you feel
order-
connected.
Yeah. In order for it to receive success and the success that it should. Because when we're writing, we're not thinking about crowd participation.
I thought about it a little bit, like Curious Case.
Yes, that's true.
I'm like, everyone can chant "fuck you."
Exactly. And
I
who
was
doesn't
like,
want to
heck
do
yeah,
that?
Exactly. I thought it was like, what's the one of the most releasing things you could do is just chant "fuck you" over and over again.
I even wrote one that also chants that a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I know.
Sometimes you just gotta say it.
It makes me think back to like 80s hair metal or glam rock or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Because especially if you think of like Bon Jovi, right? And he had just the massive chorus that would just get stuck in your head and you can chant along and sing with him. It's the same thing, right? Like people loved that interaction and be able to like sing with him. And like when you're singing with your favorite artist who's just killing it on stage, it makes you feel powerful.
It's a whole
and
other
then, like,
feeling.
You feel powerful from them, they feel powerful from you, and it's just the energy is just insane.
Yes, it's a nice flow of energy.
Exactly. So it's just that's like songwriting like 101.
So I thought it was really interesting that they write with all of that in mind. It's very mindful
Especially
of their craft.
Yeah, when they were so young, that's the stuff they were thinking about.
Mhm.
I like it. Because even now I'm just like, let's just write, let's go.
Let's go. Them talking about living all in that one room and in that one flat. And the manager has his own room.
His own room, yeah.
And they all 7 share a room.
Yeah, I like it was like it gets smelly. I'm like, oh geez, like I'd have one sleepover with like 5 dude friends, and just that one night, like yeah, and I imagine it gets very
I know.
smelly.
I'm like, oh my gosh, that many teenage boys. Of course it's smelly.
Exactly. Yeah.
사실 남준이가 그 언더에서 활동을 했다고 그 이제 그런 사람들이 많아요. 그 아이돌로 올라가서 나는 언더그라운드 활동을 했던 사람이다 하고 언플이라고 흔히 하잖아요. 그런 거를 했던 사람치고 진짜 우리가 제대로 언더그라운드 활동을 했다라고 사람은 사실 꼽기 힘들어요. 남준이도 마찬가지고.
아들 사랑한다. 제이홉 파이팅.
Oh no.
안녕. 인사. 이쁘다 안녕.
Oh.
소가 누나 엄마야. 21번째 생일 너무 축하하고 또 이번에 2번째 미니 앨범이 나왔는데 좀 많이 고생한 만큼 좋은 결과가 있었으면 좋겠고 엄마도 늘 건강 관리 잘하고 바로 옆에서 같이 있지는 못하지만은 내 응원하고 있으니까 힘내고
Oh my god.
생일도 즐겁게 하루 보냈으면 좋겠어. 안녕.
Oh, it's his birthday.
항상 건강하고 방탄 화이팅! 화이팅!
Oh my god.
their
I
birthday.
know, jeez. It was so sweet.
축하해. 생일 축하해. 안고 들어요. 제품이 안겨요 형님. 아유 감사합니다.
God.
Oh my goodness. Aftermath of Suga's birthday.
준비하면서 이거 한 100분 정도 오셔가지고 우리가 다 먹으면 어떡하냐고 걱정했었는데 제가 이제 한 300분 정도 먹을 걸 예상하고 제가 주문을 해서
Oh my god, how many showed up?
선물을 준비했는데
Had to be
제가
thousands.
더 많은 팬분들 와주셔가지고 정말 그분들에게 쓸 메시지를 쓰고 있습니다.
횟수가 300명 솔직히 300명도 못 올 줄 알았는데 이렇게 350명이
That's
왔다고.
insane.
There's a lot of people, man.
슈가 장음을 슈가는 깨울까요? 제가 다 했습니다. 앞에 보시면 슈가이 자고 있는데요. 잘 자네. 아무것도 모르고.
It's kind of creepy, honestly.
이제 중단 타임 하고 있지만 나는 개인적으로 나는 작곡 연습을 하고 있다. 이게 하다 보면 이게 막 거기에 매력이 빠지게 되는데 맨 처음에 할 때는 진짜 맨 처음에 너무 어렵다 했는데 이게 자꾸 하다 보니까 이것도 하고 싶고 여기 이런 것도 하면 입혀보고 싶고 이 가수의 이거 멜로디도 따보고 싶고 이 가수의 이 멜로디도 한번 해볼까 이런 게 좀 많아가지고 너무 신세계인 것 같다. 내가 왜 이때까지 이런 걸 안 했지? 하는 그런 생각을 하게 되는데 앨범에 써먹을 수 있었으면 좋겠다. 그때까지 많이 연습을 해야겠지만
Yep.
이게 원래 몸이 그랬는지 아니면 이게 몸이 잘 안 따라준다. 정말 단 하루도 빠짐없이 이렇게 매일 운동을 하고 있다. 매일 정말 꽤 오랜 시간 동안 진짜 하루도 빠짐없이 이렇게 늘 잘 때 운동을 하곤 하는데 사실 춤잘 추고 싶다.
가방이요? 이거 진짜 이거 보여 안 혼나겠지? 혼나지 않겠지 회사에? 건담이요. 이거는 조립하려고.
sick.
팬분들한테 받은 편지도 가지고 다니는데 그리고 책이랑 렌즈. 근데 자 렌즈를 이렇게 왜 가지고 다니냐면 제가 렌즈를 맨날 까먹은 거예요. 가지고 오는 걸. 이거는 목 아플 때 먹은 거 지금 먹어야겠다. 이것도 몇 개씩 가지고 다녀요.
지금 목 아프구나.
네, 지금 목 아픈데 지금 빨리 녹음해야 되는데.
Yes.
Nice.
Cough drops always.
Yep.
택배
이건
영수증, 여권,
여권.
피어싱, 면도기 나를 없어요.
그거 좀 보여줘봐.
네? 나를 없어요. 어디였지? 뒤에.
복은 지민이만 까기로 했다. PD님 명령이다 라고 말씀해 주셨고 지민이를 제외한 6명은 와 진짜 대박이다. 살았다 우리 라면 안도의 한숨을 쉬었었죠. 반면 그 옆에 청천벽력 같은 소식을 접한 지민이는 나 진짜 모르겠다. 이렇게 지민이의 걱정과 함께 노멀 드림 안무는 완성이 되고 얘는 기억이 나는데 예전에는 진짜 부끄러워서 막 복근도 못 가고 있어요.
그러니까요. 아니 저한테 따로 와서 상담했었어요.
나한테도
진짜 복근을 까주시는 거 어떻게 하는 거죠?
행세를 가면 복근 까는 부분에서 달라지는 함성 소리에 몸소
그렇죠.
체험하게 되면서
맞아.
지민이의 표정이 달라지기 시작했습니다. 복근이 옆으로 따라본다. 복근 까기 싫다.
원래는 이제 노초랑 이게 너무 싫었는데 하다 보니까
맞들렸지.
소리가 나. 느껴지잖아요.
저주야.
Yeah.
사실 이제 그게 중요한 게 아니고요. 이제 호비가 제호비 촬영하다가 실신.
실신. 정말인가요?
네.
제가 정말 좋은 컨디션으로 촬영을 참여를 했는데 뭔가 이제 많은 근무신과 이제 이미지 컷과 뭐 이렇게 촬영을 하다 보니까 제가 과로인 듯해요. 마지막에 쓰러졌어요.
Yeah, man.
멀쩡합니다.
제 생각에는
잘한다.
이 형이 아침부터 혼자 신났었어요. 혼자 춤을 막 열정적으로 거울 앞에서 막 추다가
거기서 체력을 반을 쓴 것 같아요 제가.
저녁에
네.
쓰러졌어요.
근데
그래
그때
막내가 어떻게 해줬죠?
근데 그때 되게 신기했던 게요. 아침엔 되게 쌩쌩했어요 진짜. 근데 저녁에 갑자기 쓰러지더라고요. 그래서 병원에 데리고 갔죠. 그래서 링겔을 맞고 다시 다음 날 아침에 봤는데 아침까지도 되게 힘이 없는 거예요. 그래서 제가 호석이 형을 위해 앞에서 춤을 추니까 호비 형이 되게 좋아하더라고요.
어떤 춤을?
네.
So about the fainting.
Yeah.
I know it's like a very common thing in Japan and Korea for people to overwork themselves or become ill and then faint. Is that just because of like humidity and heat?
It can be. Like my dad, he did football back in the day. He would like overheat and pass out from the heat. But I'm kind of wondering if it's a combination for them because they also diet and then work really hard, then probably get super hot. So he might have been like dehydrated, pass out from that. And also, I don't know if it's the same for them, but when I just get tired, I get dizzy spells. So maybe it's like exhaustion too, where like his body's just like, bruh, like you stop for like 5 seconds. I'm begging you. I think maybe that's part of what it is because people just work themselves too much, don't get enough sleep, don't get enough food maybe. And
Yeah, because I know that a lot of them are more lean as well. So I wonder if that's a contributing factor. I don't often hear of people fainting.
I think people's bodies just do weird things. And then, maybe he didn't have enough sugar. Maybe his blood sugar was low or something. Like, I don't know. It could be so many things.
Yeah,
maybe he
that's
wasn't
true.
drinking enough water.
Yeah, I feel like it seems to be more prevalent in Japan and Korea versus America. So I was just wondering why.
I liked it. Those are some good deleted scenes.
Those were some very good deleted scenes.
Yeah, I liked them. They were nice.
So that was the deleted scenes, and it was delightful. And I personally really enjoyed chapter 4.
Yeah, I had a really good time with it.
And we want to hear from you guys in the comments. What was your favorite part? Please tell us. Don't forget that we love you.
Stay safe, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.